Thank you, Roz Larman. This is Folkscene. I'm Howard Larman with Peter Cutler at the controls from the Longhouse in Encino, California, USA. Our guests are the Byron Berline Band.
1, 2, 3.
Our guests are the Byron Berline Band, and I don't get to see Byron too often because he moved away from California back to his home state of Oklahoma. Are you near where you grew up?
Yes, I am, Howard. Actually, about 90 miles south. This is my wife's hometown, Guthrie, Oklahoma. I grew up on the Kansas-Oklahoma line up there, but we essentially went home and I'm really enjoying ourselves these days.
Would you introduce the band, please?
Sure. Well, everybody that lived out in California remembers John Hickman, I think, that plays the five-string banjo, and John's with us here. He moved out to Oklahoma also when I did, and we worked together there. And, of course, we've been working together for over 30 years. We're getting to know each other pretty good. So John's with us. And Brad Benge, young guy over there playing the guitar, he's from Oklahoma City. And Richard Sharp on the bass, playing left-handed, folks, here today. I know you can't see him, but that's what he's doing. He's playing left-handed. So Richard Sharp's his name, and we have a drummer. He's a fine one, too, and his name is Steve Short. And we have a fiddler here from Guthrie. He's going to move to Guthrie here pretty soon, and he's been playing a lot of Western swing most of his life and contest-type fiddling. His name's Greg Burgess. So we got twin fiddles. What a treat.
Yeah. You've been so good at being part of other people's bands and accompanying them. Being the leader of a band, is that a lot more stressful?
Oh, I don't know. You know, I've done it so long, it's, you know, I let everybody have their own, pretty much their own say anyway, but once in a while you got to put your foot down on the boys. But these guys are great. When I moved to Oklahoma, I had no idea what kind of musicians I'd find. And then when John and I moved there, we thought, well, what are we going to do? And two of the first guys we met was Richard and Steve playing with a guy. And I thought, man, those guys are pretty good, didn't we, John?
You not only went from being a musician to being a store owner and businessman, and quite a change, wasn't it?
Well, when I lived out here, you know, I dabbled in trading and selling instruments, and it was just a fun thing to do. And, of course, living out here, you know, if you're going to open up a shop, it's just almost impossible to afford to buy a building or something, you know how that is in the real estate in California. So when we did decide to move to Oklahoma, I thought, man, what a great opportunity to be able to open up a fiddle shop and maybe a music hall, sort of like McCabe's, you know. And so I did that, and Betty and I went back there and found this old building, and we're just having a great time. And
if I remember right, one of your directions was to get a shop where you could have live music.
Right.
And so it had some restriction. You couldn't just have a store.
Right. I wanted to at least find a shop big enough to be able to accommodate, 150. But ours,
Yeah.
we have an upstairs to this old building, and it's used to be a Masonic lodge, and so it had a kitchen on one side, a dining area, and then on the other side of the building, it's like two buildings in one, actually. And the other side is a music hall, which was where they had some of their ceremonies in there. Had a stage and lights, and the whole thing was already set up pretty well. So that really fit well for us, and it holds about 180 people, and a lot of people from California have been out to see us.
Do I understand right that you walked right out of college into Bill Monroe's band?
I did. I graduated at the University of Oklahoma in January of '67, and I joined Bill about 2 months later, in March.
Now, he heard you play somewhere and invited you into the band, right?
Yeah, I was at the Newport Folk Festival in 1965. After doing the album with the Dillards, my dad and I were both invited to play at the Newport Folk Festival in 1965, and Bill Monroe was there. And I was lucky enough to be able to jam some with him and play with him. And then just when he asked me when I got the opportunity to join his band, so I did that in '67.
Did you actually move to
Nashville?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I knew I was going to have to go to the Army. And he knew it too, and he said, well, just play with me as long as you can. So he did. I did. And well, it was a great time with Bill.
Our guests are the Byron Berline Band, and I want to ask Byron about his father and learning from his father, but how about a number first?
Okay, speaking of Bill Monroe, let's do another Bill Monroe tune. This one is Rose of Oak, Kentucky. 1, 2, 3.
There'll never be another. I love her till the day I die. Now in my days, I see my darling in a gingham dress. She looks so sweet. How I long for old Kentucky and my darling down with me. She's my rose of old Kentucky. I want to bloom as the years roll by. To me there'll never be another. I love her till the day I die. I know you often wonder, and I'll tell you the reason why. She's my rose of old Kentucky, and I know that she will never die. She's my rose of old Kentucky. I watch her bloom as the years roll by. To me there'll never be another. I love her till the day I die. To me there'll never be another. I till the day I die. I'll love her till the day I die.
Our guests of the Byron Berline Band. Many years ago, Byron did an album that was a tribute to his father called Dad's Favorites. And I'm kind of curious about whether your father could be classified as an Oklahoma fiddler. Is there something different about being an Oklahoma fiddler than being any other kind of fiddler that played traditional music?
Well, it was similar, his style, not as embellished as the Texas style fiddling. And it used to be, you could tell where a fiddler was from by the way he played, you know, because he learned from his community and stuff like that. You could almost tell, but like an accent when people talk, you know, you could tell, oh, you're from Louisiana, or you're from New England, or wherever, you know. But that's the way it was with fiddling, and it was very close. It was kind of a long bow, rolling bow, but it wasn't as improvised as some of the Texas fiddling got to be later on. But it was very, like I say, very close. He played for square dances, had to have a repertoire of all kinds of tunes, you know, from schottisches to polkas to waltzes to square dance type tunes. But I was very lucky to have him as a teacher, you know, in-house teacher.
Was he good at teaching, or was it just a matter of absorbing what he was doing?
Yeah, absorbing what he did. He didn't have any idea how to teach, and which is okay. He would just play it and say, okay, you do it now. Try it. And you'd have to really watch his, his hands and everything else and try to emulate exactly what he did.
Are there any other musicians in your family?
Yes, I'm the youngest of 5, and my older brother, he didn't play any instrument at all, but my 2 sisters played band instruments and piano and things like that, and my other brother next to me, he played guitar and a little bit of banjo and some fiddle later on. Mm-hmm. So we all had music, and of course my mother played the piano and sang a lot and stuff like that. It was a lot of music going on in our house.
A lot of family gathered around the piano playing?
Oh, yeah. You know, anytime anybody come over, they always want us to play, you know. We'd play every chance we'd get.
Now, when you lived here in Southern California, you did a lot of studio work. You did commercials, or jingles, I think they used to call them.
Jingles.
Yeah. And you did some movie work and some TV work. But you still come back here to California to do that, don't you?
Just did it. I did a Deadwood series this last week, and which is on HBO. But kind of rough language. If you can get through that, it's a really good show.
It is. It is.
But yeah, I do come back, and I've done some things for Disney, recently, but not as much, of course, as when I lived here.
I have to tell you that when I first saw Deadwood, I emailed them and asked who did the music for them. And they never responded to my inquiry.
Oh, yeah.
But I imagine it's different people at different times.
I think so, yeah.
In fact, somebody told me quite recently that Dennis Kaplinger does a lot of that stuff for the series.
Well, I don't know if he does it for Deadwood. He does a lot for other series on TV. He's very busy. And, of course, he lives around San Diego. And wonderful musician, Dennis is.
No, it's just natural as a fiddler to pick up the mandolin. Was there any mandolin playing in your family?
Not really. My dad played a little bit. You know, we had an old tater bug mandolin, with bowl back mandolin.
Yeah.
We called them tater bugs, and that's the first mandolin I ever tried to play. And when I found out it was tuned like a fiddle and noted the same, so it was kind of easy to do. Just learned how to pick it. Mm-hmm. Still trying to learn how to do that.
Now, I realize the lines between traditional fiddling and bluegrass are kind of blurred. But did bluegrass seem modern to your father? Did he shy away from it?
Well, it was so new, the way they did it. My dad mainly played just old-time fiddle tunes and didn't back up a singer or anything. And I didn't get to do that either till I kind of went to college or something, tried to get in a group. And, of course, you'll have to learn how to do that, to back up a singer or other instruments. But no, bluegrass, we'd listen to it on the radio, on WSM and out of Nashville. We could pick that up pretty easily there in Oklahoma. And I would listen to all the guys, of course we like Bob Wills too.
Yeah.
And swing music, and we like that. And of course we like Bill Monroe and Flatt and Scruggs. We'd hear them every morning, And that was just kind of our people who we like to listen to. Of course we listen to all the country musicians also.
I'm kind of curious. When you went to college, were you intending to become a musician, or did you were out on your way to do something else?
No, I had no idea what I was going to do, because I was recruited to play football at the University of Oklahoma, and I was a javelin thrower in high school, so they wanted me to do both on the track. So I was into sports as much as I was music, and I thought I had no idea I would ever try to make a living playing a fiddle, and until I went to college, and I met the Dillards. Everybody knows who the Dillards are. I think the Darlings were on Andy Griffith, but. I met them 1963. Actually, the same day President Kennedy was killed. If you're old enough, you can remember what you were doing that day, and that's the day I met them. And so that kind of opened my eyes up, and they invited me out to record out here in L.A. the next summer in '64. So that's when we did that Pickin' and Fiddlin' album with the Dillards. And then, of course, I was invited to the Newport Folk Festival after that, and the next year. And so it just kind of started, you know.
It sounded like it's not something you pursued. It sort of drew you in.
Right. Well, a lot of kids these days, you know, they know they're going to play music. You know, like Nickel Creek, that bunch, and some of the other young kids who are starting to, when they're 6, 7 years old. That's what I'm going to do when I grow up. I'm just going to play music. And sure enough, they do.
Our guests are the Byron Berline Band. And yes, you're asking out there if they have a website. They do. doublestop.com. Double Stop's the name of the your store too, right?
Right, Double Stop Fiddle Shop and Music Hall.
Doublestop.com, and you can find out everything you want to know about Byron Berline and what album. Everything's still available?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, we do shows there all the time, and of course, all the inventory that I have there. Of course, it's not all on the website, but you can see about the band. We have some MP3s on our music. You can download those or listen to them and see what we do. Most of the albums we have.
How about another number?
Yeah. How about some Western swing?
Hey, good.
You know, we like that in Oklahoma and around there. So Richard Sharp's going to sing this, an old tune called Roly Poly. 1, 2, 3.
Roly Poly, eating corn and taters, hungry every minute of the day. Roly Poly eats a hearty dinner, as long as they can chew it, it's okay. He can't eat an apple pie, never even bat an eye, eats everything served to hay. Oh, Roly Poly, Daddy's little fatty, I bet he's gonna be a man someday. Scrambled eggs for breakfast, bread and jelly 20 times a day. Roly Poly, gnawing on a biscuit, as long as he can chew it, it's okay. He pulls up weeds and he does the chores, run both ways through all the doors. He works up an appetite that way. Oh, Roly Poly, Daddy's little bad, I bet he's gonna be a man someday.
Our guests are the Byron Berline Band. And as I said, their website is doublestop.com. Actually, it's Byron's website. You can find out about the older recordings that are still available and about the store. I wanted to ask you, do you teach one-on-one?
Not much. Really, I have my videos that I teach, DVDs or VHS tapes that we send out. I do a lot of those. And now Greg here, on the other hand, Greg Burgess right here, he teaches there. And I have another fellow by the name of Jim Garling who teaches beginning fiddle and guitar at the shop. So we're lucky to have some teachers there.
You bought and sold instruments when you lived here in Southern California. Do you repair instruments as well?
Well, very little, but the guy sitting right over here on the banjo does, John Hickman. And we have a third floor at our shop, and he stays up there most of the time. And it's a great place to repair instruments in it, John. But he has a nice light up there, and he can just get with it. So he does a lot of repair.
And he doesn't have a vocal mic, so he can't speak for himself too well.
Well, he doesn't speak much anyway. He doesn't talk
Yeah, I know
much.
he doesn't. I've known him for a lot of years. Do you still do duet shows like you used to do when you lived out here?
Well, we haven't in a while, but once in a while we'll do a little gig, just the two of us. And but that's a lot of fun, just banjo fiddle,
And does John teach too?
Yes, he does. Teaches banjo. Got some great students out there too. Some young kids that are really coming on strong, learn to play the banjo.
Now, if I remember right, he's from Ohio.
Yeah, Columbus.
And the reason I knew that is because early in his career, the famed photographer Carl Fleischhauer did a documentary on bluegrass featuring the band that John and his brother were in, I think, right?
My brother wasn't.
Oh, your brother was in it, but you weren't?
No, I was, and he wasn't.
Oh, okay. John's saying he wasn't in it, but he
John
was
in it, but his brother wasn't
in it.
One of those guys weren't in there.
And his brother used to play bass. Is he still making music?
Yeah, at times, yeah. He lives in Ocean Beach.
Okay, we'll speak for him. He's still making music sometimes. Our guests are the Byron Berline Band, and that ought to teach me a lesson about asking questions to people who don't have microphones. I learned the hard way sometimes.
Well, he could bend down there where his banjo mic isn't talk, but he might get a crick in his neck or something.
No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to disturb him. Anyway, our guests are the Byron Berline Band. And is this band traveling back east as well? I know I saw you a couple of years ago at the Ford Theater here in Los Angeles. You get back east as well?
Oh, not as much. I don't think. We don't go back east too much. I don't guess. Nashville, once in a while, we might show up there, but not very much back east. We're going to China. Does that count?
Do you teach people about playing in a band? Are there any instructions that acclimate young students into how to fit into a band?
Sure. I mean, there's workshops that are designed just for that, actually. Kind of learn what not to play and when to come in and, how to back up other instruments and vocalists. Yeah.
Because I know that there are kinds of bands where you have a leader like Byron Berline. There are other kinds of bands that are like everybody seems to be leading, right?
Mm-hmm. We all actually kind of chip in, and when we rehearse, we all have ideas and ideas. It's good to do that. Everybody gets involved that way.
Now you come out here and do session work as well. And are there any other beside Los Angeles and Nashville? Are there other places where you get to do session work?
Oh yeah, in Oklahoma, there's always people wanting to do session work. In fact, Steve and Brad are engineers. They do a lot of recording. They've been doing that for years. And of course, Steve is probably the most busiest drummer in Oklahoma City area, and that's where most of it's done. There in Tulsa, I suppose.
What is the music scene like in the area you're in Guthrie?
That's really good. It's getting better. I mean, a lot of the younger kids are coming up, and then we have, of course, we have a bluegrass festival there in Guthrie. I don't know whether you know about that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's called the Oklahoma International Bluegrass Festival, and this will be the 9th year for it. It's always the first weekend of October. We've got some great acts that come in there, and of course, groups from all over the world come in and play bluegrass.
Did I read on your website about going to Czechoslovakia?
Yes, I did. My wife and I actually took a vacation there, and we didn't. Well, I did play there with some local Czech bluegrass musicians. Boy, there's some great musicians in Czechoslovakia, bluegrass style, and they always come over to our festival also. Japan and Italy, every country you can think of almost has a bluegrass band.
When you travel, even if you're not specifically going for music, do you carry an instrument with you? Is it...
Not really. No, on that vacation I didn't, but you always find them. You know, I mean, when I went over there to play with the Czech band or just sat in with them, they provided me with a fiddle. You know, there's always somebody there would gladly to let you loan their fiddle to you. So
I'm going to take a moment out here and tell everyone they're listening to Folkscene. Folkscene is hosted and produced by Howard and Roz Larman, engineered by Peter Cutler. Our thanks to Stephen Barker and BBAT Productions for the use of their equipment, to Wendy Waldman and Michael Boshears for the use of the Longhouse. This is KPFK Los Angeles. Our guests are the Byron Berline Band, and how many band albums are there?
4, I think.
Really?
Yeah, we have 4 now.
And the latest is a gospel album.
Right. Oil in My Lamp is the name of it. And we decided to do a gospel album because a lot of people, especially in that part of the country, really like gospel, bluegrass gospel. So we recorded one, and I thought it came out very nice.
What are you going to play next?
We're going to do another Bill Monroe tune called My Sweet Blue-Eyed Darling. 1, 2, 3. Is love me good, then be true. Days come and go, and I still love you, and I see your smiling face. You tell me, love, that you need me, and no one's gonna take my place. You're my sweet blue-eyed darling, and my love belongs to you. All I ask of you, my darling, is love me good, and be true. And today I need an answer, and I hope that you will say you don't belong to another, and in my arms you're gonna stay. You're my sweet blue-eyed darling, and my love belongs to you. All I ask of you, my darling, is love me good, and be true. It's love me good, and be true. You my darling, love me good, and be true.
Our guests are the Byron Berline Band, and as you play out more and more, do people start bringing you things they think you ought to be doing?
You mean material for the...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we get people bringing tapes and stuff to the fiddle shop all the time. Say, what do you think of this song? So we listen to them.
They ask for your advice on writing for this?
Yeah, they do. I don't know what to tell them, really. You know, it's just difficult, you know, because everybody has their own way of writing, and there's millions of people out there writing songs.
I know the store is called Double Stop Music.
Right.
And the website called doublestop.com. How did you become attached to that Double Stop?
Right. Well, it's a term used in playing the violin. It's 2 notes played together. It's called a double stop. But actually, I had to have it come up with a name for a publishing company that when I was living out here, I did a little movie deal and played an original tune in it. And they said, well, what's your publishing? Do you have a publishing company? And I said, no, but I can get one. Well, what's going to be the name of it? And so I think Herb Peterson was really the one that named it. Why don't you call it Double Stop Music? And I said, hey, that's a good idea. So I did.
Uh-huh. And that became your kind of signature for everything you do now. Mm-hmm. Our guests of the Byron Berline Band. What number you play next?
Well, let's see. Let's do a song that Greg and I wrote. This is a tune called Somewhere Over the Fiddle-Bow. Now, it may sound like another song. You know, you might get confused about this because some songs sound like other songs, you know. But we call it Somewhere Over the Fiddle-Bow.
All right.
That was wonderful. Kind of team arrangement there.
Oh, yeah. That's fun to do.
I want to ask you about one of the tunes you wrote that keeps showing up places, Huckleberry Hornpipe. Does it surprise you how many times you pick up a CD and see how many people have recorded that?
Well, it does. We played a show the other night up Northern California, and this kid opened up, and he said, Byron, sorry if I play Huckleberry Hornpipe. And I thought, well, are you going to play it? And I said, no, probably not. Go ahead. I'd like to see how you play it. He had no idea that I'd written it. And when he got ready to play it, I asked him, who wrote this? He said, I don't know. He said, did you? I said, but it was nice to have other people play your tunes, sure.
There was another tune I think you co-wrote with maybe Rick Kuna, Weddington Street Rag or something.
Well, actually, I wrote that one. And Rick and I both lived on Weddington Street, actually, at the same time. And that was
that showed up a few places too, I remember.
Yeah. But,
you still writing?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I write tunes all the time.
You think there'll ever be an album where just your tunes?
Yeah, I've got one called Jumpin' the Strings. Yeah, and
is that a band album or is that?
No, it's just a solo project. I have a new one called Flat Broke Fiddler. It's got quite a few originals on there also.
Yeah. Is that like a main goal for you to write? Is it?
Oh, I don't know really. I just enjoy it. You know, it's like Bill Monroe was. He enjoyed sitting around making up tunes and stuff like that. And it's just kind of fun to do it and see how they come out and maybe get them arranged and, you know.
Do you ever work with a lyricist and write songs?
Not much. No, not really. I tried writing a few songs myself, but never did amount to much. So all the good songwriters out there, I just kind of gave up on that.
Tell me about growing up in Oklahoma. You had music in your family and you had sports in school?
Right. Actually, I was kind of lived out there in a remote area in Grant County, Oklahoma, northern Oklahoma, and southern Kansas. And we lived on a farm, and of course, I worked on the farm a lot, you know, with my dad. Because I was the youngest, all the rest of them had gone off and done other things. And of course, my oldest brother was still around, but we did farm work, ranch work, and stuff like that. And of course, I was lucky enough to be able to play sports in high school and got a scholarship offer to college, so that was nice.
Oklahomans seem very sports-minded, is it?
Oh, sure. You know, they're big into that. University of Oklahoma's always ranked way up there in football, and they won several national championships, and they're doing well. And Oklahoma State's also very good in other sports, you know, also football and basketball and stuff like that, wrestling.
I always meant to ask you, a lot of people, including myself, are under the impression that you're the one that talked Vince Gill into moving to Los Angeles.
That's true. Yeah, our band Sundance, we were in Kentucky one summer, and Vince was playing in a bluegrass band there. And I remember seeing him and found out that he was from Oklahoma. And with his singing, of course, I mean, that kind of stuck in the back of my mind. And when we needed a tenor singer and a guitar player, and I gave him a call, traced him down. He was, I think, playing in a little club in Alabama somewhere. And I remember calling Oklahoma City, trying to get a hold of him. There's several Gills listed in Oklahoma City. And finally, I found the right one. I said, "Is this Vince Gill's home?" Finally, his dad answered and says, "Yeah, this is home." And I found out how to get a hold of him. And so he moved out and played out here with me for about 3 years before he went on to Pure Prairie League and then on his own. But we see him a lot. We're going to be playing with him here. He's played our festival, and we see him quite a bit. And he and Amy Grant now, they played some shows with them. And it's been a lot of fun seeing Vince do so well.
He was very supportive of the local music scene here in Los Angeles and would show up with a lot of different bluegrass bands and encouraging a lot of people to play and support their bands, and could be counted on. As well as John Hickman was like that, too, when he lived here in Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah. Well, we just like to play, you know. Hey, you want to come over and play with us, we'll do it. So that's about what it amounts to, you know. Vince the same way. He loves to play and sing.
And it gave people like Stuart Duncan a kind of leg up, because he was so young here playing fiddle that these people who were not much older than him, but older than him were encouraging him to keep on playing.
Right. And same with John Moore and Dennis Kaplinger. You know, they all grew up. I remember when they were about 10, 11, 12 years old, and I moved out here, and they were just starting to play, and they're great musicians. And Nickel Creek, same way.
Yeah.
Allison Brown.
Yeah, Allison Brown, and we'll leave her out. That's right. She played with Stuart Duncan quite a bit when they were
Right.
kids.
They were called Gold Dust. They even made an album together when they were like 13 or 14.
Uh-huh.
One of my prize collections.
All right.
Our guests are the Byron Berline Band. What are you going to play next?
Well, let's do a banjo tune. What do you say? We could feature John over here, and he likes to play this one, a tune called The Train 45.
Our guests are the Byron Berline Band, and Byron has a shop in Guthrie, Oklahoma, and the name Guthrie, Oklahoma has nothing to do with Woody Guthrie, right?
Does not. No. A lot of people would think so when you No, there's a big cattleman from Kansas came down. His name's John Guthrie, and they named it after him.
Yeah.
And it was the first capital of Oklahoma, and it was the town was started in 1889 when the land run happened, and so it was that kind of grew up overnight. That town, about 10,000 people, and they all started from there, and then did the land run, and that was they made that the capital. And then Oklahoma City came down and stole the seal in about 11 or 12, somewhere in there, and took it to Oklahoma City.
Our guests are the Byron Berline Band. Once again, doublestop.com is the website. And you're involved in all these things, but do you take any part in the day-to-day operation of the store? Or?
Oh, I'm there most of the time. And, John and I are the only ones that really kind of run it, you might say. And, of course, my wife, Betty, she's helps with all the bookwork and stuff like that. But and then when we have our shows, we have a show every other weekend there, and the band plays, and we have guests that come in once in a while and play, and we have all kinds of little get-togethers, fiddle jams, and different people that want to come in and jam with us and play. Are always welcome.
So you have a band, you have a store, you have a website, you have concerts. You're probably doing all the booking yourself, right?
Right, yeah.
Keeping you busy.
It keeps us going. This year's been real busy so far, so we've always, since we've known we were going to come out here, we've really looking forward to coming because Brad and Greg have never been to California. They're kind of getting to see that for the first time, and so it's kind of fun to see them enjoy that.
Now, you were out here a couple of years ago at the Ford Theater.
Right.
Did you get to hang around a few days, or did you just leave right away? Or?
Yeah, we did. We not too much in Southern California. We started in San Diego and then went straight up to Northern California around Santa Cruz area and then worked our way back down again.
Huh.
But this time we did it a little bit different. We started up there and came down here, so it's a lot of fun. We got to see a lot of people we haven't seen in a long time, including you guys.
Yeah. When you book those shows at your store, do you get to accompany people too, or?
You mean sit in with them or something?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. If they want to, yeah. A lot of bands come in. We've had all kinds of different bluegrass bands and stuff. We don't really I don't use it as a place that we play all the time or have people just come in to book their way through there. It's mainly for our band to play, but once in a while, though, we do feature other groups and stuff.
Our guests are the Byron Berline Band. We have time for one more number.
Okay. Well, how about Lady Be Good? You want to do that? All right. This features twin fiddles again and an old swing tune. I think everybody knows it. Features everybody gets a chance to play on this one. Are you ready, boys? 1, 2, 3.
our guest, the Byron Berline Band. Before you leave, why don't you go around the room and identify the musicians again?
Okay. On the other fiddle right here is Greg Burgess, and of course John Hickman on the 5-string banjo, Brad Benge on the guitar, Richard Sharp on the bass, and Steve Short on the drums.
Do I remember right, some years ago you were experimenting with a 5-string fiddle?
Yes. I played it for several years, actually, till I found this fiddle, and then I started playing this one. But I played it right up till about a year ago. Still do once in a while.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It has a low C string on it, so. Sorry I don't have one with you so I could demonstrate.
Yeah, but it hasn't gone away entirely.
No.
Was it, did it give you a lot of options you didn't have with this, or?
Oh, it does. You have another string to use, and just a lower string, which makes it like a viola and a violin into one instrument.
That band you had before Sundance?
Right. Well, Sundance, you mean California, or what?
Okay.
Country Gazette?
You had Country Gazette.
Then Sundance.
BCH, and
L.A. Fiddle Band. L.A. Fiddle Band. Remember that? We were on your show a couple of times. And
did Vince sing in that band? Yes.
Yeah, I did. And you'd use everybody we could think of, put in there. Dennis Fetchit and Bruce Johnson, we all played fiddles, and of course John played it, and then John's brother played bass in it sometimes, and sometimes Roger Reed his brother played bass. We just, whoever we could get, we'd put him in there.
And Skip Conover.
Oh yeah, Skip played dobro.
I want to thank you all for stopping by. I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks, Howard. We really enjoyed it, and good to see you guys again. And
it's great.
All right.
You're listening to Folkscene. Folkscene is hosted and produced by Howard and Roz Larman, engineered by Peter Cutler. Our thanks to Stephen Barker and BBAT Productions for the use of his equipment, to Wendy Waldman and Michael Bushears for the use of the Longhouse. I'm Howard Larman. Here's Roz.